People were captivated by Elizabeth Taylor's beauty from a young age. She was often noted for her striking violet eyes, double eyelashes, and lush dark hair. Elizabeth shared many times the stories of strangers in the streets telling her mom how gorgeous her little daughter was. Elizabeth's mother, Sarah Southern, worked hard from keeping Elizabeth aware of how beautiful she was. She would always tell her that people had always said the same thing about her when she was Elizabeth's age. But Sarah wasn't going to hide her daughter away from the world. She knew pretty early on that she wanted to do everything in her power for Elizabeth to become a major star. Taylor began her film career as a child actress in the early 1940s and quickly became a star due to both her acting talent and extraordinary looks. Her beauty was widely admired and contributed to her iconic status in Hollywood. But what many people did not know at that time was that Elizabeth was also the product of a complex and painful family life. Her mother was deeply controlling, managing every aspect of her daughter's personal and professional world, while her father was physically abusive, creating an emotionally fraught environment at home. This troubled upbringing played a significant role in shaping Elizabeth's desire for independence. Her early marriage, often seen as impulsive by the public, was in reality a deliberate attempt to escape her parents' control. For Elizabeth, marriage offered the promise of freedom and a way out of a household where she felt stifled and mistreated. It wasn't just about love or romance, it was about reclaiming her autonomy. Elizabeth Taylor's wedding to Conrad Nicky Hilton Jr., her first husband, was a highly publicized event that took place on May 6, 1950. MGM asked Elizabeth and her mother Sarah to set the wedding date as close to the movie Father of the Bride release as possible. The wedding took place only 1 month before the movie premiered, creating a perfect PR opportunity for the studio. After all, it was MGM who fully funded the lavish event that was held at the Church of the Good Shepherd in Beverly Hills, followed by the reception at the Bel Air Country Club. Elizabeth had a 4-carat diamond ring, which was considerably smaller than the subsequent husbands would give her. She wore a gown designed by Helen Rose, a costume designer for MGM Studios. Around 700 guests attended the ceremony, including famous celebrities, which marked the beginning of Elizabeth's lifelong status as a media sensation. After their wedding, Elizabeth Taylor and Nicky Hilton headed to Europe to enjoy their 5-month honeymoon. In actuality, the joy of marriage only lasted 2 weeks as Nicky started drinking again. He would regularly leave Elizabeth alone in their hotel room to go gambling. One day, he kicked her in the stomach, causing her to miscarry at a very early pregnancy stage. "This is not why I was put on earth. God did not put me here to have a baby kicked out of my stomach," shared Elizabeth later. When the couple came back to the United States from their honeymoon, Elizabeth's friends started noticing how different she seemed. To cover her bruises, she would wear clothing that was not right for the warm Californian weather. 7 months into the marriage, she decided to divorce Nicky. Perhaps she could have ended this nightmare sooner, but she was hating the idea of a divorce. She did not ask for alimony. All she wanted was to be free and at peace again. Elizabeth did not like the idea of coming back to her parents' house with her tail between her legs. As a woman who valued freedom and who was back in the market for new love, the last thing she wanted was her mother's control and her father's abuse again. Besides, she was worried about the public's perception, indicating that she was running back to her home as a victim. Determined to assert her independence, she rented an apartment and hired a companion who also served as her personal assistant. With her fame rapidly rising, she re-entered the marriage market almost immediately, drawing increasing attention from admirers. But even as she resisted falling back under her parents' control, she found herself under the authority of the MGM studio. Though she was legally an adult and living on her own, MGM dictated nearly every aspect of her life. Her image, her roles, her schedule, even her public appearances, more than ever before. Elizabeth may have felt liberated, sovereign in name and lifestyle, but the reality was more complex. Her autonomy was in many ways more limited than ever, as the studio capitalized on her growing stardom and kept her firmly within its grasp. Her true freedom, personal, professional, and emotional, remained out of reach for decades to come.